What happens when a DM surprises new players mid-session with homebrew rules that completely cripple their characters? Let's find out in today's story. This story occurred during my first year of college. All throughout high school, I was an on and off D&D player and one-time DM. Upon my arrival to college, I immediately began looking for a new group to play with. After some searching, my new friend Taylor invited me and my friend Brian to join a new D&D campaign being led by some guy I've never met. We happily accepted the invite. It ended up being myself, Brian, Taylor, Patrick, I'd never met him before, and Winston, the DM I'd never met. Session 1 comes around and I show up with my dwarf paladin ready to smite some evil. The game begins and Brian and myself are told that this campaign is going to be a sequel to one Winston, Patrick, and Taylor had played before. Okay. I mean, I do wish they would have told me earlier, but whatever. I'm just happy to be playing D&D again. Then Brian and I are told that our characters haven't joined the party yet, so we will have to sit out for now. Again, that's totally fine. We had new players do that in our high school campaigns until we could work them into the story. However, apparently, Winston takes immersion very seriously, so Brian and I were asked to leave the room until our characters were introduced. We sat in the dorm common area for 45 minutes before Taylor came and got us. I can tell you honestly, the waiting was not worth the payoff because our characters were simply introduced as two random guys that are suddenly joining the other two in the adventure. Neat! Cool times at D&D. All that waiting and no real reason was provided. At this point, I was fuming. Having to leave and wait 45 minutes without any kind of pre-session warning or heads up is rough. Then to be called back in and your characters are seemingly introduced without an interesting or cool narrative reasoning that justifies being kicked out for 45 minutes is also very rough. But fuming does seem like a bit of an overreaction in this situation. If you're gonna make new players wait outside, then just warn them ahead of time or have them show up a little later. I don't really view this as too much of an issue, except for the fact that they're new to the table. Having new players wait at the table for their characters to be introduced can give them the opportunity to read the table's energy and get a feel for the DM's style of gameplay, which will definitely help them feel more comfortable and accepted at the table. And this situation introduces this DM's biggest downfall, and that's the complete and utter lack of communication with new players before they arrive. Shit's about to get spicy. Very quickly, we see that the plot is entirely tailored toward Patrick and Taylor, even though we were asked to provide lengthy backgrounds for our characters, and we just felt like we were background characters, sidekicks. The NPCs rarely interacted with us, and the DM frequently spoke over Brian and me. Again, neat! And that's just the tip, baby. It gets way worse. Soon I found out that this DM doesn't believe in skill checks. Oh, you want to persuade someone? You have to actually persuade me. You want to jump over a table? You have to explain why your character would be capable of doing so. Needless to say, Brian and my characters rarely passed our skill checks. After 3 hours of dialogue, we finally get our first combat. A thief has stolen an important jewel and we're hot on his trail. He's escaping through a busy market street, but we've got him. This is my time to shine. There's no way the DM can ruin combat, right? Big shocker. DM manages to do it again. DM doesn't believe in base movement speeds. Because I'm a dwarf and short, I run half as fast as taller party members. DM also doesn't believe in initiative rolls. Dwarves are naturally slow because of their build, and the heavy armor I'm wearing means I'll go last in most combats. What the? That's a good DM tip. Listen up, newbies. What you gotta do is not allow your party to be heroes. They gotta be weak little peasants that you can manipulate with your little strings on your puppets and just walk them down the trail that you're providing to them through narration that they have little to no choice on. You're welcome, the next Matt Mercers that are listening to this. I know, we're on the same wavelength here, and I know what you're thinking. Can I roll to hit him? I sure can, but because I'm small, I can't distinguish which person is the thief, and the DM gets to roll a d20 to determine if I hit the right person. I do not. What the fuck? How short are the dwarves in this campaign? Where they can't see a few feet up? Oh yeah, no, that's right. Dwarves do have that racial feature where they can't look the fuck up. Oh, this is stupid. How do DMs like this actually get party members? Lies. That's how. They tell them lies. I don't know. Side note, he also didn't believe in HP. Yeah. Now I know what you're thinking. How does combat work? Well, you only had enough HP to block 1 or 2 hits before you were down because that's more realistic, I guess. If you were hit once, he'd write it off as if you dodged the swing, but any more than that and you're a goner. So combat's over and I get arrested for hurting an innocent civilian. Brian ends up getting arrested too because he's my companion, but oh yeah, the other 2 I'm with, nah, they fine, bruh. Cue Brian and I being forced to leave the room once again because we've been dragged away by the city guards and wouldn't know what was going on with the main characters. Eventually, we come back and are informed that we've been imprisoned. In short, the warden was evil. Brian's character was a bit sassy toward the warden, and the DM saw this as a good enough reason to have both of our characters executed. Winston tells us to make new characters for next session. We pack up our shit, leave that dorm room, never to return again. Good decision. So I thought about that game quite a bit, and I thought maybe Winston just hated me on sight or he wasn't okay with having 2 new members join the campaign. But then I heard that he actually liked us and wished we stuck around. Patrick and Taylor kept playing the campaign until later it turned out Winston was a creep or something and then they quit. Flash forward to the present and I'm DMing a campaign for Brian, Taylor, and Patrick. We are playing a campaign mostly by the books and having a great time. Winston was not invited. Homebrew rules are subjective and implemented by DMs to enhance the gameplay for everyone at the table. These changes to the rules should be explained to new players at the beginning of their first session, if not sooner. But a DM who has homebrew rules that cripple their players' characters must explain those rules to new players before they even begin the character creation process. This puts the ball in their court and lets them decide if they want to join the group knowing their PCs will be crippled. That way they don't feel blindsided at the table. Easy peasy, baby. Now I'd like to start something new on this channel. First off, yes, some of these stories are funny and all of them are entertaining, but some of these stories are also pretty depressing, aggravating, or just annoying. So let's spread some positivity and make each other laugh in the comments. I want to hear not here. I want to read your best dad joke. I'll read the best one in the next episode. And if you like what I created here today, please like, share, and subscribe. You don't want to miss the next one about a terrible DM that makes up nonsensical bullshit to force the party's hand, taking all choices from them. This DM later becomes OP's nightmare player with zero self-awareness. It's a wild one and quickly became one of my favorite stories so far. Thank you so much for watching. And check out this video over here. It's amazing and hilarious. Just look at that thumbnail. It's incredible. Or check this one out over here that also has to do with stupid homebrews. Later.